Okay, today we are the bad guy. We are playing a deck that is not Blue-Red Phoenix, but it is doing kind of the obnoxiously powerful combo control thing as opposed to being the sweet green-white Yorion Blink deck. The sweet Blink deck unfortunately was not beating Phoenix as consistently as I wanted it to, and so here we are playing some Izzet Opus and maybe some Grixis Opus, with the graveyards of many other decks in here. Not that they're all bad necessarily, but I think I'm pretty darn close to wanting to just play Izzet Opus here. Or Grixis Opus, some kind of deck that can just play a bunch of high quality cards, play 4 Expressive Iteration, and randomly gank people out of the game if they don't have their graveyard hate. See if we can find an opponent before we have to restart Arena. Might be encountering a bug here. Nerdy Steve, hello. I have your content queued up to be watched soon because I saw that you were top 10 Mythic. Congrats. Didn't see how the stream ended. I just saw that in the middle when things were going very well. And Bieber fan, if you're running Opus tomorrow, there's a good chance you played more of it than I have. But so far, the few matches I've run, it's felt just obnoxiously powerful. Really, really good. Also, Arena is... Ooh, Arena unfroze itself. Good job, Arena. Good job. Arena! Arena had such nice things to say about you. What an odd bug to have become so predominant on the platform. Anyway, so Seth Manfield has been playing Grixis Magma Opus for a few sessions on his stream now, and it's looked great. I picked it up, it played great, and the main thing I'm trying to figure out at this point is whether I am supposed to be playing Grixis, so I have some Thought Seizes and maybe a slightly better selection of removal spells, or whether there's more to be gained by just having a nice 2-color mana base that's, I don't know, I was going to say less painful, but honestly the Grixis mana base had a lot of pathways and was pretty smooth. The main good thing about the Izzet mana base is just having more turns where you can easily cast Expressive Iteration on turn 3. Since you're not fighting that with Thoughtseize on turn 1. Bieber fan, what is Burning Hand supposed to be killing? Korvold? Is it for Korvold? Go ahead and keep this. It's not outstanding, but against Gigantha, Mystical Dispute hits Niv, and Prismari Command hits Witch's Oven. So whichever of the Giganthic things they're doing, we have some tools. Burning Hands for Niv. What are you hitting off of? Just to kill Niv? Oh, to kill Kavu, I see. That makes sense. Kavu is kind of obnoxious. That's interesting. I'll have to consider that. Had not done so yet. One thing is I think that the current build might have 1 or 2 too many lands. See if we can pick off a Mayhem Devil. Nope, just Gigantha. Alright, it's fine. We're chilling. This Prismari Command can filter for us a bit. As usual, the Jund player just kind of sitting around not doing very much. I have been... You know, people say Jund is really good. People say that Jund is like tier 1, and on an intellectual level I can almost believe it, but I have been just thoroughly unimpressed by the deck every time I've seen it. Pretty much no matter what I was playing. It just seems slow and clunky and like The whole, like, you're full of 1-mana spells and that's like a cool, unique thing is no longer really the case. Everybody has a lot of cool 1-mana spells. Alright, so filtering through a few more lands. Let's hit an Iteration or a Magma Opus or something action-y. Second Anger. Alright, that's fine. Let's chill. Waiting to hit. We have a lot of card draw. A lot of card draw on the deck. We can counter a Corvold. We can burn down a Gigantha. We don't really care about Cauldron Familiar. I assume this is where they... Well, they can't cast Witch's Oven. I will counter Witch's Oven. Sick. Getting to anger away 2 Cauldron Familiars is nice. And I can Unholy Heat the follow-up Corvold if it comes to that. So let's just do this. Is my opponent running Deadly Dispute? Oh, they might be Fatal Pushing one of their own familiars to keep it in the yard. That would make a lot of sense. Yep, sure thing. One less Fatal Push for the inevitable Magma Opus token later. Gosh, Fatal Push, like, freezing the game every time is definitely something. And I'm liking the Hall of the Storm Giants actually gives us something to do. That seems pretty favorable. Trail of Crumbs. That one's not so favorable. I don't love that. Although we do get to anger away the other cat eventually. Hey, Kaz! Thanks for the resubscription. Always great to have one of those early in the stream. Thanks so much. So, unlike the Grixis deck, I'm using Fabled Passage because I'm not using Fatal Push. I'm instead using Unholy Heat, so it's really good to be able to get lands into the graveyard here. Okay, thankfully opponent didn't hit an Oven. If they had hit an Oven there, we were in trouble. I mean, they could still hit an Oven, we could still be in trouble because this hand has been really flooded, but still feeling pretty comfortable. Of course, Phyrexian Tower means I can't kill Cauldron Familiar with Anger of the Gods, not permanently. But the opponent's only really good thing they could do here would be to... Alright, now the question is, do I kill Gigantha with Unholy Heat or Dispute? I think it's Unholy Heat here because Corvold is pretty scary to me. The good thing about Dispute, of course, is that it lets me start attacking with Hall of Storm Giants earlier while holding up Unholy Heat. So it's a tricky call. I might have made the wrong decision there. I didn't spend a lot of time thinking about it. Alright, 1 card draw spell, please. There we go. That's a card draw spell. I love that one. So we'll jam this, discard this pathway. And now we're starting to hopefully dig closer to actually having our engine. And another Windfall is great. And another Unholy Heat's also pretty good. Can't really kill the cat. Don't feel like trying to kill the cat. If they do cast an Oven, I can, like, kill the cat in response, maybe. But feels like we are at some point going to start drawing into our engine. By some point, I mean very soon. Oh, Mizzix's Mastery. I can overload that. I get Windfall, Heat, Prismari Command. I'm not that excited yet. I think I just pass. We just hold up Windfall, and then I prepare to Mizzix's Mastery the following turn. Kevlar Man, on a scale of unplayable to best in the format, where would you rank Cat Oven right now? I'm just curious. Alright, I think I get rid of Anger. I just don't see this ever being useful. Doesn't kill Corvold, and I don't care about any other card this deck plays at this point. Do I just play another Windfall now? I think I do just play another Windfall now. Just use up my mana, get rid of this excess land. And yeah, the game is over now. Opponent is not going to win this one. So I think I just discard Opus, make a Treasure, and then Mizzix's Mastery back triple. There's not really any way to lose the game here. I'll just untap, see what we find. Another land, sure. So I can discard that to one of the Windfalls. So I'm just going to go with, yeah, discard Opus, overload a Mizzix's Mastery. That seems fair enough. Alright, let's hope the opponent doesn't have the super secret exile my whole sideboard instant speed tech. It does not appear that they do. So one thing, chat, that you'll notice today is I'm still really bad at resolving Mythic's Mastery. Yeah, I'm not at all good at doing this particular thing. But it's fine. Alright, we're going to cast a Windfall, discarding a Pathway. We're going to cast a Windfall, discarding a Dispute at this point. I don't even really care about Corvold anymore. I think I cast the third Windfall, discarding the command here. Then I cast Prismari Command, hitting them for 2, and I will loot. Of course, I did this in the wrong order. We should have looted well after we drew all the Windfall cards. That's my fault. And then I'll cast Anger of the Gods, getting rid of the cats. Then we will decline. Yeah, you choose the last thing first. It's like basic stack ordering, but it's, you know, there are subtleties like I should have done this after doing all the command stuff, but it's fine. It's like pretty obvious what I need to get, and also there's no way our opponent has any chance of winning. But still want to, you know, there are times when you have a less stocked graveyard and your opponent has not spent 7 turns doing nothing because they're Jund. Yeah, I think Jund is kind of garbage tier. Okay. Could do some stuff now. I don't feel any particular need to do anything. I'm just gonna... I'm gonna chill. I've got Mystical Dispute in my graveyard. So no Corvolds are coming down today. Could Opus on their turn, but I kind of like my treasure collection. I'm honestly pretty fond of it. Yeah. Well, we'll keep a, you know, a portion of my treasure collection. Cards in library. 23, that's fine. I could be attacking with Hall of Storm Giants, but whatever, we'll keep mana up. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, okay. Alright, so this deck. We have the Prismari commands. We have... What's the most dangerous thing they can do? Corvold and, I guess, early Squirrel? They're probably going to have their own lanterns here. So the question is always, you know, do you cut Mythic's Mastery when people know to bring an Artifact Hate? Yeah, I generally don't love having these. Often the plan is to bring in Niv Mizzet and cut Mythic's Mastery. Niv Mizzet is not amazing against their deck. They don't have a lot of instants and sorceries of their own, and they have Binding of the Old Gods. Although they might board out Binding against our deck, it's hard to tell. Magma Spray is okay. You can sometimes get a lucky pick off on a cat. You can sometimes kill a goose early. Unholy Heat being able to kill Corvold and Mayhem Devil, though, I think makes Unholy Heat the kind of defining thing. Do I want Sot coming? I don't think so. Yeah, this is rough. We're kind of almost pre-boarded against them. I guess I'll cut 2 Disputes, add a Sot coming because it's just better. And then probably cut a Mastery for a... I could almost bring in a Negate or something. Maybe I just want some Nivs. I don't really know a third Anger. Yeah, they sometimes span a bunch of little critters. I'll bring in a third Anger. And let's run it like this and see what their Artifact Hate package looks like. It really varies. They can do a lot of different things. Have you played against humans much, Jaybirds? I have not. I watched Seth play against it. It seems fine. Like, their disruptive draws can be a real pain for you, but you are just playing a bunch of sweepers and removal spells, and they don't have a ton of Artifact Hate. Certainly not pre-board. So I found it to be pretty good. Alright, what are we doing here? I think I want to keep Gearhulk Opus. Could even keep Spikefield Hazard. Yeah, let's dump Fabled Passage here. Just keep the power cards. Alright, Hall of Storm Giants might be a little awkward here. Let's just go with think this is just Canal Pass in case they try to get tricky and go for a squirrel here. Forest Go is weird. Outland Liberator. Okay, that is a card that is kind of annoying. Because it's going to flip on me. I mean, I can kill it after it flips. It's fine, but it is going to be hitting me for some reasonable damage, so good job. Genesis, yeah, I have been looking at spoilers. I sometimes tell myself I'll try not to look, but then realistically I always look, so it is what it is. Alright, does opponent have more beatdown cards? I do have 3 angers in. Against this thing, I'd probably go up to 4 angers. Alright. Good to note that I can just cast Spikefield Hazard if I really want to, and flip this thing back over. Alright, let's put Bone Crusher into hand. Pathway exiled. And then do I try and flip this thing back over, burning a Spikefield Hazard to do so? I can't imagine that's worth it. Let's just chill. Rendrew, yeah. Wouldn't have been surprised if it wasn't listed, since that's not always consistent with them, but, yeah, I don't know their stuff, but I am pretty confident there's a tournament starting tomorrow. Genesis, we have, Torrential Gear Hulks. Torrential Gear Hulks are artifacts. Necromentia, okay. I am pretty curious about what they're going for. Is it going to be Gear Hulk? Probably just Opus? Probably just Opus. This does depower our deck somewhat. If we end up going to a game 3, this makes me want to bring in Niv. Yeah, chat, what would you name here? Obviously, they don't know our hand, so I feel like it's probably just Opus, and you expect that Gear Hulk probably isn't so devastating without Opus, but yep. I miss Unmortigo for the same reason, Kellerman. Opponent's really making a meal out of this one. Hopefully we're not bugged or something. Feel like their timer should start running down any second. Yeah? Hello? Opponent. Okay, Torrential Gear Hulk, sure. It's kind of hilarious they printed one of these in Amonkhet that was literally you could only pick artifacts. Dispossess, those were the days. Alright. Paisahe. And we are pretty soft to a Corvold. Now that we don't have any artifacts to discard, I guess I'll attack because I'm not blocking. And we'll plan to Windfall here. Jorg, yeah, I've been dabbling in Storybook Brawl. That's one way to put it. One other way to put it might be that I was just addicted to Storybook Brawl. Ooh, Shifting Ceratops. That's pretty good. That one is... I can Ether Gust it. The problem is if I try to Windfall looking for Ether Gust, their Frenzied Trapbreaker can just kill one of my treasures, which sucks. So I think I let it come down. And then just plan to block it with Bone Crusher. Yeah, obviously we are under some pressure now. This is a thing that punishes me for attacking with the zombie, although of course it's hard to tell, you know, what is going to happen to us at any given point. Alright, make 2 lands. That's not that impressive. Alright, well these draws are not very good. I can double shoot Yeah, I guess we gotta just do this. Uses all my treasures. Uses one of my treasures. Alright. Don't like having to do this at all. But I think it's the move. Worth noting that Hall of Storm Giants is in fact blue. So can't block Shifting Ceratops if it comes to that. They have a Braid in their deck for some reason. Alright, so the opponent just brought in like every sideboard card they have, including some really stinky ones. But we are kind of dying to the stinkers. Do I have to block here? I think I do. Doesn't help much. Yeah, if we die in this game, it's just going to be drawing like 11 lands. Ouch. Alright. That's a cat, and a Spikefield Hazard is not going to do it for me, so we're dead here. Shifting Ceratops. Alright, and we saw Necromentia, but we didn't see much actual graveyard hate, so kind of into just having Mastery and having the maximum number of good opuses available. Feels like they must have cut Witch's Ovens. No, they kept cats. They probably didn't cut Ovens. Normally, I would think that bringing in that many sideboard cards means you had to have some cuts. They might have just drawn all their sideboard cards, though. You don't want to overestimate how much they were sideboarding. What's the cut? Bone Crusher actually blocking Ceratops is definitely nice. Maybe I don't even need 3 Angers. They do have the Outland Liberators, which are like an additional thing for those to hit. Maybe we just assume that we don't want to play around the Ceratopses too hard. We could trim some of the... Hey there, Arjuna. Might be Windfalls. Yeah, it could be Windfalls. What if we trim a Windfall for a Niv Mizzet? But then we're still up a card. Could be like a land. Could be a land. Could just be a Jawari Disruption. Clarm, I do not know in answer to your question. That's tricky. Maybe 2 Windfalls? No, I like Windfall if I'm doing Niv stuff. Could trim a Gear Hulk. Could trim... On the play, let's trim an Anger, I think. Unholy Heat might also be actually the cut. It's pretty hard if they're necromentioning my Gear Hulks to get Unholy Heat to do much, but it does double with Anger of the Gods to kill Ceratops. That's something. Huh. This hand's really soft to Thoughtseize, but I do like Windfall. Keep, I guess. It's not like a very good hand, but it's hard to think of too many 6s that are substantially better. Alright, can kill a goose, so that's nice. Will in fact be killing a goose. Trail of Crumbs is fine. Mizzix's Mastery is kind of interesting for later. Do I just play this as a land now? I can always just discard it to Windfall, so I don't think so. Yeah, this is... Just don't care very much about Trail of Crumbs. It's very, very slow. Expressive Iteration. Alright, am I doing this or am I doing Windfall this turn? Probably supposed to be Windfall. Although Iteration trying to set up Opus is tempting. Iteration actually digs me deeper toward Opus. Let's Iterate. I don't know. That was close. Okay, we found the Opus for hand. Great. Storm Giants goes into my library, so I can take this mountain, play it, and have Opus Mastery up for next turn. Opponent is very far off of Necromentia. Playing double black cards in Jund is not the easiest thing to do. And they can go for Shifting Ceratops, but I don't care that much. Thoughtseize me, okay. You got it. Got to assume this is taking Mythic's Mastery. But Unexpected Windfall sets us up for Magma Opus pretty quickly anyway. Colossus. Alright, so opponent does have Graveyard Exile-y stuff, which is... Honestly, I feel like they should have... Nah, I guess they couldn't afford to take Mastery there. I'm actually going to play the... Yeah, I should play the Pathway outright, not the Cave. Colossus is kind of annoying. Can't get Ether Gusted. Yeah, so we're going to go Windfall, probably just discard Hazard, look for a land that lets us cast Magma Opus. Yeah, Colossus making Unholy Heat terrible means maybe I'm actually supposed to discard Heat? Opponent has a lot of sideboard cards for us, which is one issue with playing a graveyard deck. It was something I was trying to avoid doing. Yeah, I think probably that we should just be boarding in Niv like all the time. Niv just like laughs at all this nickel and dime stuff. And they kind of have really neutered their ability to do their normal game plan with all these sideboard cards. Alright. They slam Corvold. I can kill a Corvold. It will be annoying, but I can kill a Corvold. Shifting Ceratops I cannot kill, and that is... Well, I can kill next turn, I guess. We'll see what happens. Okay. I actually should have Unexpected Windfall. That's my bad. I should have Unexpected Windfall for Ether Gust. That would have been a nice thing to do. Well, let's see if I was finding it. Mythic's Mastery, okay. That seems pretty good. Huh. So if I discard Opus now and then I draw an untapped land, we get to go for Mythic's Mastery, which seems really sweet. I think I do this because I'm not going to get a better chance to make Mythic's Mastery really powerful with Colossus out, and this Torrential Gearhulk. Okay, that's not bad. So we have a couple options. One is just Magma Opus with Mythic's Mastery and play Bone Crusher Giant. So we can block the Ceratops. We could also Anger Unholy Heat or Anger Stomp to kill the Ceratops and just kind of chill for a second, but I do want to get this Magma Opus out. Let's put it off. If I put it in off Torrential Gearhulk, I'm also getting a decent clock. Yeah, they're going to target Opus. So I could also just chill and Torrential Gearhulk out the Opus in response to their targeting it. The question is just, am I trying to, like, also put up a blocker for their Ceratops to, like, inconvenience them? I guess I can take one more hit off the Ceratops. I'm also missing a land drop this way, which is a little sad. Like, have a decent shot at drawing a land off the Opus. But tapping down their black source is pretty valuable. Of course, they could try to predict what I'm doing as it's, like, pretty obvious what's going on. But, yeah, they go after Mastery. So this is, like, the slight issue with this play is that it's very easy for them to play around, and now I'm missing my land drop. They also, yeah, I'm tapping their lands in their main phase, which is not that exciting. It's still not bad, of course. It's, like, nice to be able to do this. Okay, they just didn't even tap for mana in response, which is cool. We go to 6. But I am now hitting back with a pretty substantial clock. And we can just sweep away the Ceratops. So all I really need is an Ether Gust to probably be good to go here. Alright, Outland Liberator can kill Torrential Gearhulk, which is not bad. But if they kill Torrential Gearhulk, I get to Unholy Heat their Ceratops for 1 mana. Which is pretty cool. I would be in for that. Prismari Command isn't doing much for me. Alright, I assume this is going to be block the Elemental, kill the Gearhulk. Sure. Okay, so Gearhulk down. I've got 3 card types in the yard. I would need a land or sorcery in there to kill the Ceratops. So I could just Prismari Command and dig for that. I could also Mizzix's Mastery of Windfall and discard something. Why not Anger before attack? I mean, they just sacked the Liberator. I wasn't sure I was going to Anger this turn necessarily. I wanted to kind of force them to make that Liberator play and show me what they were doing. It's possible there was nothing else they could have had, and it might have been better just not to bother. Did I see the Green-White Enchantress? I don't know what you mean. Are you talking about a card, or are you talking about the deck Green-White Enchantress, which is a popular ladder deck that I have seen? Okay, so, yeah, awkwardly the only sorceries... Yeah, Mystic's Master actually just sets me up for 1 mana Unholy Heat, so I think I am just going to do this. Hit Windfall. Cast it, discard Anger. Kind of digging for Ether Gust here. Whiffing on that. We did hit a land drop, which is nice, and now we can kill the Ceratops. And the question is, do I now play like Bone Crusher Giant? It burns a bunch of my treasures, but I also get a... You know, I don't just die to a Ceratops this way. It's a good deck if you're not ready for it, the Minosaur. I think I expect people to start being ready for it pretty soon. I think I am just going to play Bone Crusher. I think, you know, there's no guarantee we find Ether Gust, and we do kind of need to kill them. I mean, realistically, to ever beat Clothis, we do need Ether Gust at this point. This feels annoying. I think this matchup should be pretty strong. I think our deck's just doing fundamentally better things. I was underprepared for their sideboard plan and should have just had some divs in my deck. Yeah, it's possible the Bone Crusher Giant play was playing too scared. Really stinks to use this many treasures on it. Yeah, I just have... They've shown me like 6 different sideboard cards at this point. I have no idea what they have in what proportions. Alright, and now Corvold comes down. Corvold I can deal with, but everything is just slightly annoying. Alright, do I iteration here? I can Torrential Gearhulk for Unholy Heat for 2. That doesn't do anything. I can Anger Stomp to get rid of Corvold, but I die to Clothis, so I need to find an Ether Gust. I need to find a lot of things here, actually. Probably my best bet is something like Iteration into Windfall, discarding Gearhulk, finding an Unholy Heat to kill Corvold, and a Gust for Clothis. Yeah, I think that's my only option. It's very unlikely to work, but okay, there's Windfall. Goes to hand. Library Exile. That gives me a land, which means I can discard Bone Crusher Giant to Windfall. Find an Unholy Heat to get rid of Corvold. And yep, if I can draw Unholy Heat and Ether Gust off this, I'm good. Otherwise, not good. But we'll try. Alright, no Ether Gust for me, so that is it. Yep, shifting Ceratops. I just have no idea what the common Jund sideboards look like. I feel like people build Jund in all sorts of ways. But if Ceratops is common out of that deck, that probably makes me want at least 3 Ether Gust between main and side. That said, I think I might have 3 Ether Gust between main and side. What's the list exactly? One gust here, one gust here. Can I fit in a third gust? I could. 4 Anger of the Gods might be pretty excessive. I really don't want all 4. Do I want 4 against Phoenix? I'm not even sure I want all 4 against Phoenix, honestly. Yeah, one good thing about the Grixis version, of course, is you just get Fatal Push, and so Ceratops doesn't really bother you so much. Yeah, I mean, most of their non-land permanents don't really matter, Pathlos. It was specifically exactly those 2 non-land permanents. Like, the Cat Oven stuff is kind of piddling by comparison. I could also cut one of the nibs. It's possible 3 nibs is pretty excessive if I'm not even bringing them in sometimes. Cut a spray if I'm running 4 angers. Maybe I'll just cut a spray. Get another gust in here. Alright, let's try Izzet Opus again, but I'll note that, like, shifting Ceratops is definitely a reason to go for Grixis. Also that play where we, like, held up Deer Hulk trying to Magma Opus them and hoping that they would try to exile our Opus with Clothis still didn't feel great to me. I feel like just actually casting Bone Crusher Giant that turn means we take much less damage. Have I tried Lava Coil? I have not tried Lava Coil. Other than shifting Ceratops, it's hard to think of what that hits that I am worried about. I guess Crackling Drake? But I don't especially want Lava Coil against Crackling Drake because that's just card disadvantage. I'd rather have like Mystical Dispute and Aether Gust for that. This hand looks very good. Prismari Command is also a little underwhelming. I'm on 2 of these right now because I was just looking for stuff to substitute for the black cards, but it might be that I'm not supposed to be on this many copies. Alright, so turn 3 Magma Opus secured, unless the opponent's going to Scavenging Ooze me or something. Looks like it's Gruul and not Monogreen, which makes a bunch of oozes a little less likely out of their main deck. Okay, if Llanowar Elves attacking freezes the game, that's not a good sign for Arena. Have people been finding Arena just, like, working very slowly for them in general recently? Because I've been having a lot of freezes in, like, the weirdest places. Well, shoot. I think we have to try restarting at this point. Give it 3, 2, 1. Has not fixed itself. Alright, we're going to try and restart Arena here real quick. Yep, we have been defeated by Llanowar Elves. Let's see if we get our second turn. One thing I do love about Storybook Brawl, the game is not as deep as Magic, but the software sure does work. What else would be fun if Arena didn't have to initialize audio, given that I never use it? Okay. Well, I should have enough time, right? Shouldn't have skipped my turn yet, right? Come on, come on, come on. Crap. Oh, wait. Oh, yep, crap. Alright, we could still win with Magma Opus, so I guess I don't give up yet. Pelt Collector, fine. What did they do, by the way? Atarka's Command, just naked Atarka's Command, sure. Okay, never mind, that's a lot of stuff. That is going to make it harder to... Well, actually, we can still win with Magma Opus. Anger of the Gods, too, huh? Alright, well. We'll see. I guess Den of the Bugbear is pretty irritating. Alright, so that comes out. Do I have to kill Den of the Bugbear? If I could just get rid of the Questing Beast, this would all be pretty easy. Yeah, I'm actually dead to this. So I need a Bone Crusher, and then I don't have an out to... Yeah, okay. Well, Turd God, unfortunately I found this Selesnya Yorion was like a little bit too weak to the random weird combo stuff in the format, and it was like at best 50-50 against Phoenix, which was all a little bit too iffy. Alright, well I like Anger. I like Aether Gust, of course. Not so big on Mystical Dispute. Not so big on Prismari Command. In fact, I probably want to cut both Prismari Commands and get like a Magma Spray or the fourth Anger? Magma Spray? Try Magma Spray. Bendro the Butts. Do I own a website? I have a personal website, aarongertler.net. If you Google me, it's very easy to find, and it's full of random arcana, mostly from college and slightly after. Uglyhood, I've seen various versions of Gideon Turn decks. They seem pretty fragile, and I assume they're not that good, because despite being kind of around for a long time, they've failed to make much of an impression on the format. I don't know. Actually, this hand was probably not a keep. I don't know why I kept this hand. It has no blue mana. Yeah, I kind of kept this hand on tilt, and then also am about to die on turn 4 after having cast no spells, huh? Rough. Alright, well, I've got 3 of the Angers in here. Cinder Vines. Okay, yep, yeah, this hand was terrible. I'm just gonna pump myself for that. There was no reason to do that to me. We could still win, because our opponent has missed their second land drop, and Aether Gust is a pretty good thing to have access to. But Cindervines is a little scary. I guess I'm probably just Aether Gusting Cindervines here, huh? Or am I Aether Gusting Colossus? I mean, I Windfall, I guess. Right. I'm trying to think if I should be Aether Gusting anything. I can Aether Gust Colossus later. I think this has to just be Windfall this turn. This is going to come in and be a creature, which is going to proc Pelt Collector. I guess I Windfall now, discarding a Mastery, because I could rip an Unholy Heat or something that would stop Colossus from being a creature and procking the Pelt Collector. God, those draws were not good. Okay, I think we just gust Cinder Vines. No, I gust Colossus? Gosh, this is really tough, and I discarded Mastery, so I can't even play a spell this turn. I am just playing like garbage. This is not good at all. Okay, gust Colossus. I don't know what I'm doing. This is terrible. Alright, well, let's just draw Anger. Okay, Iteration could be an Anger. It's pinging me off Cinder Vines, which really sucks. Oh, God. Alright. Try again. Come on, anything. Oh, man. Feeling pretty dead. Feeling pretty dead here. Because this turn they can just put Colossus back in, put me to 6. And I'm kind of forced to Gear Hulk bounce the Colossus, but if I do that, I go to 5, and Cindervine skills Gear Hulk and I'm dead. Yeah, that was a horrendous keep. Not a great setup overall for me. The 1800 bug is somehow the most tilting bug. Every time I'm like, cool, wow, exactly rank 1800. And then, of course, you're never actually rank 1800 when you look at it. I have no idea why that happens so often, and it just indicates some bizarre code in the ranking system somewhere. Okay, let's see if we can win one. Just, obviously our Gruul matchup should be excellent with this deck. Should never really lose that match, but we got arena'd out of the game on the first one and then tilted out of the second. Note that we probably do want 4 Angers in that matchup. Thanks, iPhone fan. This is close to my final choice. If I lose like 5 straight matches here, I will maybe drop it for something simple like Mono Red Madness, but generally I've been pretty happy with the deck. Blue Eye Control, I agree, seems pretty solid, but I don't have the time to learn to play it, would be my main objection to that. Alright, we're just going to keep Fabled Passaging here. Thin the deck a bit. Yep, we're both going to sit here iterating, and then it's just a question of whose late game is going to be better. I feel like we're in a good place against control decks, especially with Niv in the sideboard. But it's gonna be a little back and forth. Yeah, if we only draw lands, it's gonna be tougher. Well, that's pretty awful. I will take a... That's tough. Opus or Gear Hulk? Probably Gear Hulk. And opponent's proactive play was Grafdigger's Cage, right? That is the thing I signed myself up for with this deck, is main deck Grafdigger's Cage existing, but whatever. These are still 5/6s with Flash. Our opponent played an entire card that doesn't do anything, you know, if we just play our Gear Hulks as 5/6s with Flash. Magma Opus is still a Magic card. Unexpected Windfall is still a Magic card. I'd say I feel okay about our positioning. Windfall getting countered is a little annoying, but whatever. We can keep up with our opponent here, I think. I hope. They're opusing me. Sure. Seems fine. Niv miss it. What? Alright. Fine, I guess. Opponent's doing, yeah, people are main decking Grafdigger's Cage all the time, throughout the entire history of Historic and especially now, and, well, I've got like 17 lands here and no Unholy Heats. I think we're gonna scoop this one up. Oh man, that was something. I guess Prismari Command does kill Grafdigger's Cage for whatever it's worth. Our opponent was just pre-boarded. Oh, fucking Historic. Oh, I just wanted to beat Green-White Yorion against that stupid deck. Green-White Yorion would have been amazing. Actually, Green-White Yorion can't beat a Niv. What am I talking about? Green-White Yorion cannot beat Nivs
We
at all.
need to become Aaron Gertler tonight, Jack.
Okay, so
Let's
Negates
go.
Dispute saw it coming. Unholy Heat actually kills Niv, so I want a couple. We're going to cut the Angers, cut the Bone Crushers. Prismari Command's interesting. I'm going to cut Mystic's Mastery. Bring in Nivs. I think we just don't even bother killing their Grafdigger's Cages. We just pretend they don't exist. And play our Gear Hulks as... maybe cut a Gear Hulk for a Prismari Command. Give us a chance to get lucky. And probably don't actually want 4 copies of Unholy Heat. I don't think Niv is that much of a concern. Do I just play the second Prismari Command? It's fine. It loots. It gets Niv out early. I think try it. Bye, Shawl. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, it's any deck you play in Historic, you're eventually going to get a little bit tilted when you run into the thing that's come to beat you. Sure, we have enough filtering. Google Soap Skills, no. This deck does not play a white splash. This deck would play a black splash if it were splashing anything. And I've considered the black splash. Having Thoughtseize in this matchup is really good. And honestly, even though in theory going from Grixis to 2 color should like really improve your mana, the Grixis deck had really good mana, as far as I could tell. Had no complaints there. Alright, well we have our double Hall of Storm Giant Straw, which if we don't get nived out of the game, should be very good. Grafdigger's Cage. Do I bother to negate that? I don't bother to negate that. You can have it. Unholy Heat. Sure. Let's just, can now go... Windfall's nice. No, I should have cast Windfall there. That was dumb. Obviously want to be getting my Windfalls when I can against the deck with a bunch of counter spells. That's my bad. Yikes. Yeah, having black lands in the deck does hurt when Niv is your sideboard plan, I will say. Alright, well, sitting here trading stairs with the opponent. We can Windfall with counter backup, and if they try to cast Niv, I was going to say we could... Alright, Windfall with counter backup. They could have 2 counters, though. I'm just going to chill. Continue to draw more lands. Yeah, this deck has too many lands in it, for sure. Way too many lands. So after we get out of here, we at least have to cut a land somewhere. It seems like a pretty high curve deck, but it really isn't. Would honestly be nice to have something against these decks that isn't just Niv, although, you know, having 3 copies of Niv is a lot of copies of Niv. Okay, speak the devil. And he shall appear. I wouldn't be surprised if this got gusted, but that does not stop him forever. Google Soap Skills, I don't feel the need to play black cards against the food decks. I think you just crush the food decks. We got surprised by our opponent's variety of weird sideboard cards, but I think in general we are very, very good into food. Okay, the problem with this Niv is that our opponent could just cast their Niv, and they have many more cards in hand than we do. So that could get rough if it happens. But we do have Hall of Storm Giants. Fry. Alright, our opponent came prepared for the sideboard plan, I guess. I'm just so tilted by the... Why would you play Fry in your sideboard? What does Fry hit that isn't exactly Niv Mizzet Parun? Actually, serious question, chat. What does Fry hit that is not exactly Niv Mizzet Parun? Also, if I am playing 2 colors in this deck, I should probably be playing Archmage's Charm, huh? Alright, we'll go for Iteration to hand, Windfall to exile to library, Niv to exile. Try it again. Chance it just gets killed, but it's at least cantripping as it does. No, I should put this in my hand. I'm being really stupid. I should be trying to protect this with counter magic. Opponent's deck is 100% Archmage's Charms. Crackling Dig Storming Entity? Do you really need Fry for Storming Entity in your 4 Lightning Helix deck? Yeah, whatever. So they could Teferi. They could also do this, which is fine. Alright, this is reasonable card advantage. I like that. So we're going to get our whole library down at some point. Okay, we'll go ahead and put Ether Gust into hand. Unexpected or Mystical Dispute into the library. I actually could put Dispute to exile and just use it to stop a counter this turn. Like, I could just jam... What am I even jamming? A Windfall? I'll just put Dispute in the library, exile Windfall, play Windfall. Discarding Spike Field Hazard. One is welcome to counter this. Nope. Okay. Play Riverglide Pathway, and Foretell Sod coming. This is a nice thing to be able to do sometimes. And do I just discard a Windfall here? A Gust, maybe? Probably Windfall. Okay, hopefully we have enough tools to be able to win a counter war here. If they're going to try and Magma Opus me, they're not going to like how that goes. Good point, Geneticist. Good point. It's not just in a good, it's in a great. Alright, and we chill for another turn. I think we just iterate. And chill. What am I drawing off of iterate, though? I don't just have to immediately discard to hand size. I think this might be the Gear Hulk as a 5/6 flash turn. Mockbee, which Niv are you talking about? You're talking about Niv Mizzet Parun? Niv Mizzet Parun is just very good against Arclight Phoenix, which is, I assume, the main reason people use it. Resolves, great. Opponent just out here wishing and hoping. Alright, do I saw it coming this? Guess we discussed it. Opponent's welcome to do this again next turn if they want to. Seems like that is their genuine intention. Alright, we can... Hall the Storm Giant still hold up multiple counters, so I think that's what I'm doing. I don't even really bother to iteration here. I'm just going to kill him. Because their hand seems like it's junk. Google Soap Skills, no Lantern in the main. I think you basically want to be doing two things with your main deck, which is, you know, not dying to creature decks early and then killing your opponent with Magma Opus Gearhulk. Generally, Magma Opus Gearhulk and Mythic's Mastery go big enough that you don't really care about what the graveyard decks are doing. Hey man, leggings, happy pre-Halloween. Alright, they're going to do this again. We are going to gust it again. And that should be it. Mystical Dispute, okay. Still dead. Alright. Does Sot Coming kill them? Sot Coming kills them, right? They would have to have Unholy Heat, except for that they don't have enough card types for Unholy Heat, so... Okay. Good job, Hall the Storm Giants. Alright, so do I want Bone Crusher? They kept in Helix. Pretty sure I don't want Bone Crusher. They've got their cages going. Feel pretty fine about this, I guess. Windfalls are a little awkward, but it looks like a lot of their counters are Mystical Disputes, which makes Windfall maybe less risky to resolve than I was thinking it might be. Urinary Effect, if I counter the dispute, that means the Opus goes on top of their library. Versus if I just hard counter the Opus, it goes away, and I kind of didn't want them to draw it again, in case they somehow had another draw step, which didn't seem likely, but just in case. Yep, seems fine. Hard chillin'. We're just here to counter expressive iterations and have a good time. Oh, the cam is frozen. That's weird. Let's, why would that be happening? Hello? That's annoying. It's happening. Been happening sometimes. Let's, try unplugging that and plugging it back in again after I play this land. No. Glad you're enjoying yourself, man, leggings. I'm giving up on the camera for now. It's completely non-responsive, unfortunately. And these draws are poop. Just give me some action, please. I appreciate some action. All right, do I windfall now? I feel like I should windfall now. I can Jawari disrupt any counter that actually hits windfall. All right, those were good draws. Of course, we're not really going to have much of a shot against a Niv. Unless our opponent doesn't have the 6th land. Or I could just draw a Gear Hulk, you know, the card I have many copies of in my deck. It's not very stressful, man. Leggings. Y'all are welcome to leave if my face is what brings you to the stream, and you leave as soon as you can't see my face. That should be very flattering, right? I feel like that's just obviously very flattering to me. Okay, opponent is not casting a Niv this turn, which is pretty pog. Mythic's Mastery. Get out of here, please. Thank you. Grafdigger's Cage. Alright. Actually not interested in this one, thanks. Because I would like my Gear Hulks to be good draws here. Okay, Aether Gust is an acceptable draw. Gonna keep this land for Unexpected Windfall. And boy, if I had a Hall of Storm Giants, I would be pretty happy right now. Hall of Storm Giants would be lovely. Oh, that's good too. We'll take that. Why no Archmage's Charm, Google Soap Skills? That's a good question. I should be playing Archmage's Charm in the deck, in fact. That's one of the main benefits of going 2 colors. I should be, in fact, using it. Alright, this is going to be... It's going to be really awkward if our opponent is Fry. Let's see about just gunning down this Niv, huh? Let's do it. Yeah, I mean, in this case, it makes it easier. Like, I don't have to be playing this many basic lands. Strizia, at some point we have to figure out how to get pull-up set up here. I'm playing with a green screen literally at my, like, back. So it's tough. Fun fact about Aether Gust hits Fry. They're trying to cast Magma Opus. So I just counter the Magma Opus, right? Yeah, I just counter the Magma Opus when it comes out. That gets me another card too, which is nice. Yeah, maybe, I mean, Archmage's Charm becomes like a natural thing for this deck to play once we have the blue-red land in Vow, I think. The new blue-red land that's coming out will make it kind of very trivial to play like double red and triple blue. Yeah, I'm sorry, chat. Alright, let's take a minute here. Let's take a minute here and try to fix the camera. If anybody comes on as confused, tell them I'm trying to fix the camera. And we'll, yeah, see what happens. Listen to the chill vibes. Do not pay attention to the rustling behind the screen. Alright, trying again here. Let's get this reoriented. This is a story about a little green man who lives in a green world. Everything around him is green. His car is green, his house is green, etc. Let's set up a nice filter. Get some chroma key going here. Oh yeah. That's not quite it. That is closer. That seems pretty good. All right. We're back. Okay, so, all right. Well, there's a little bit of grain. Let's just sit back and there will be no grain on my face. Izzet Opus, can we fit some Archmage's Charms in here? I am playing too many red sources. So I probably can fit some Archmage's Charms in here if I really want to. Opus, I would love to try Abzan Auras. I saw that it was somebody had rank 2 on ladder with it. Do you have a list? I think Auras is really well positioned right now, potentially. Would be really happy to give it a try. Partister 420, red-white midrange is an extremely satisfying Jeff Hoagland brew that just plays like Mind Stones and Dragons and Angels and somehow wins some games. I don't think it's great, but I built it and then have not actually played it at all. Chaster, good question. In fact, let's take a break. Let's play a game of Yorion. I would be happy to take a break and play some Yorion, even though I don't think it's going to be the deck for tomorrow. The latest build of Yorion that I've tried is a little different. Basically, I cut Llanowar Elves. I realized that A, I didn't have an easy time playing Llanowar Elves on turn 1 with the deck. B, there weren't that many great 2-drops to ramp into with Llanowar Elves, because the deck kind of has to play 4 copies of Skyclave Apparition. And so I'm trying Explore, with the idea that Explore lets me play a slightly higher land count, which this deck always really wanted. Lets me have fewer cards that just randomly die to Deafening Clarion, or, you know, various removal spells for no value, which Llanowar Elves did. And it doesn't really change the deck's speed very much, because this was never a 1-3 deck, this was always a, like, 2-4 kind of deck. Thank you, Opus. Alright, so maybe we'll play some Abzan Auras. Let's do one match of Yorion, though, and maybe we'll just dramatically crush someone and I'll believe in the deck again, or maybe it'll become really obvious why I'm not running this one tomorrow, probably. Yeah. The thing that really hurt was not so much... Like, the Phoenix matchup's fine, but it was more that there were certain sideboard cards Phoenix could bring in that could just, like, run rings around me. Like, the last straw for me was when I got hit by a Glorybringer against Phoenix. I'm like, what am I supposed to do by Glorybringer? Like, I've got Trackling Drakes and Sprite Dragons and Phoenixes and Dragon's Rage Channeler. All of those I got covered. I can beat Stormwing Entity even, but... Like, now you're playing Glorybringer against me? Never mind Izzet Opus. This deck can never beat an Izzet Opus. It was all just, like, a little bit too, like, they're very flexible. I feel like I'm, like, trying desperately to react to what they're doing. It was not a good scene. Opus, I'm pretty sure it was not Genki at number 2, if I recall correctly. Andy Awesome, I have not read The Wheel of Time. It seems very long, and because I'm a fan of Wildbow and Wildbow's online web serials, I only have so much room in my life for extremely long fictional books thingies. Oh god. Well, this matchup seems hard. I think it seems hard. I don't know. Maybe it actually isn't hard. This matchup scares me just because our deck is not super great against Thoughtseize. We really been fighting against people on board, and because we play a bunch of expensive spells, it's pretty easy for Thoughtseize to like pick apart our hand, as is about to happen here. On the other hand, our opponent's start was not very strong. They don't have a Dreadhorde Arcanist. And post-board, we have a lot of tools against them. There's Dreadhorde Arcanist. Alright. Well, yeah, these red-black decks. The only loss I had with the Grixis Opus deck was also to red-black. It seems pretty well positioned right now. I don't know. I've like been impressed with what I've seen so far. It's like, all right, we're gonna Blade Splice, and now our opponent has to deal with the Golem. If they Thoughtseize, they probably have to take Resto out of her hand, which lets me Charming Prince and get a Blade Splicer again. But it's tough. And Incarcerated, yeah, I am keeping up with Pale. I think Pale is probably just like the best written thing that Wildbow's ever done. Have been very happy reading it. Okay, maybe they're just giving up the Arcanist. That would be cool. Or... Okay. Got a fatal push? Okay, Village Rites, that makes sense too. So the Blade Splicers can go to work pretty well, the Blade Splicer tokens. A problem is just going to be getting to enough mana that we can actually cast Yorion without having it ripped out of our hand. Okay, Restoration Angel's a fantastic draw, though. That helps a lot. The question is, should I swing with Innkeeper or Blade Splicer or just hit them with the Golem? I think I'm just going to hit them with the Golem. Hope they go, like, block with Supplier, play Kroxa next turn, and I can just kind of get them. Alright, Village Rites comes out. The question is, in response to Village Rites, should I be casting Restoration Angel? There's the risk that I get hit by an Unholy Heat as one of their last two cards. I think I hold the Angel for now. Of course, they could draw Unholy Heat now. But if they play Kroxa next turn, they have to tap out of Unholy Heat, which is nice. So we'll just go... It's actually kind of tricky. I think I want Florahedron. Playing Florahedron forces me to use a treasure. I guess I'll go Temple Garden so I don't have to use a treasure. The life isn't really going to matter. If our opponent wants to go for Unholy end of turn, they're not going to like what happens. And they don't seem to be finding a second red source yet, which is cool. Okay, so now, of course, I don't want to waste all my mana for the turn, so we know Resto. And I feel like it's very likely I have an Unholy Heat by now, so I'm just going to blink Innkeeper. This way the opponent has to choose between stopping my blink, killing Resto, or killing the Splicer anyway, before I can blink it. And they go after Splicer anyway, which makes sense, because they know I have Charming Prince. But Innkeeper gave me another treasure means it's much easier for me to play a Yorion later. And Yorion is not the most amazing card against their deck, but it's just a big flyer. Okay, so now we're just going to Spellbind. See what's going on. They didn't want me to see what was going on. Sweet. Okay. So their draw was a little clunky. No turn 2 Arcanist, no turn 1 Thoughtseize. And we got him. We're, of course, going to want Rest in Peace. And we're, of course, going to want Portable Hole. Don't think we're going to want Deck and Stone. What are we not going to want? Spellbinder is not especially good against a deck where all their cards are really cheap. And in general, we just want to kind of take our deck's costs a little bit lower here. Just because they're a discard deck, they have lots of ability to go after our hand and take our stuff away. Probably the land where Visionary goes just because it doesn't interact with the board well at all. And then we'll cut probably 2 Tulsimir, 1 Chariot. Could be the other way around. Could be a Tulsimir, 2 Chariot. Maybe Tulsimir actually comes back, and Tulsimir seems pretty nice. I could cut an Ephemerate, because Ephemerate's pretty awkward against the number of Unholy Heats they run, but it's like a great way to build up cards again. Could cut a Prosperous Innkeeper. Yeah, Prosperous Innkeeper's not that impressive on a pure value basis. Maybe we just do like a little splitsies here. Cut a Chariot, cut an Ephemerate, cut an Innkeeper, and try this. There is another argument that you actually want to keep your expensive cards, because if you're in top deck mode against them a lot, you just want to have powerful top decks. Tough call. Sure, turn 2 Rest in Peace is good enough that you should keep it. If my opponent Thoughtseizes my Amiria's Call, I'm going to be sad, but that didn't happen, so let's play this out now. And we'll find green mana sooner or later. Okay. It happened sooner rather than later. So, is our opponent going to feed the Swarm us? That's a good question. Let's find out. Chaster, no I don't... Okay, they did feed the Swarm us. I didn't think they actually would have that in against us, because it's like terrible against, you know, all the cards they saw out of our deck, but... there were certainly cards they had not seen and maybe could predict. Yasharn Chaser, I don't think so. Yasharn's okay at generating raw resources, so maybe it's like a fine thing to bring in. But I it doesn't really, like, the sacrifice stuff in their deck is not that important to their game plan generally. Yeah, I figure they had the village rights there. It's possible that was a bluff, but it felt like it was very unlikely to be a bluff. So the good news is that Charming Prince can just dry us into stuff they can't steal off the top of our deck, which is nice. Let's see what's going on top of the deck. Chariots are great. Skyclave Aberration looks really good too. We'll just bottom that. Could have cast Prosperous Innkeeper first, I guess. Yeah, I should have cast Prosperous Innkeeper first. There was no world in which I was going to not play that after playing Charming Prince. And I guess we'll see if our opponent brought an Anger of the Gods against us, which is another thing that people do sometimes. Just that one. That one's fine. And we're getting lots of life beating down pretty solidly. Happy with our current board state. Just going to attack with Prince Golem here, as I expect there's a good chance they're going to kill my Skyclave Apparition. I don't want Prosperous Innkeeper getting eaten for free. Case in point. That's fine. It's a 2-for-2 trade. And in the interest of having Yorion come out sooner rather than later, we're not going to burn a treasure just to cast Explorer. Okay, so yeah, this game has come down to top decks, which is actually kind of predictable. I should probably just be cutting all the Innkeepers and bringing in cards that actually do things. I always overestimate the amount of actual discard they run. And they do have 7 cards in the graveyard, so we're gonna lay this land down, pass. They can bring out Kroxa, but if we hit a land or a removal spell for Kroxa off the top, we're still in pretty good shape. They shouldn't have that many cards capable of killing Yorion. Eaten Alive, okay, that's a good one to know about. Yeah, every time I play against Red-Black, it's like, in theory, this deck should beat everything, except for Phoenix. It seems like Red-Black should really struggle against Phoenix, and I'm not sure why I'm seeing more of it lately, but whatevs. Okay. It's Yorion time. Please don't kill my Skybird. Please don't kill my Skybird with your other Feed the Swarm, which would still put you in kind of a rough spot. Pathos, I doubt Clean Dust is good enough against Phoenix. Phoenix is really good. It's just like a really fast, powerful deck. And, oh, are you kidding me? Alright, come on, Restoration Angel. Come on, Restoration Angel. Portable Hole, alright. Portable Hole taking down Kroxa is not bad. If they had one fewer creature, we could just kill them here. But we do have to take Kroxa here. And now they have Lurrus, so we're just going to be digging for Restoration Angel or another Yorion at this juncture. No real point in attacking with Prosperous Innkeeper. Alright, we'll see if they rip another Kroxa. If they rip another Kroxa, we're going to die. Good. Okay. Come on, Restoration Angel. Charming Prince, okay. That's fine. Their graveyard doesn't have that many actual scary permanents in it. Let's scry and see about hitting a resto off this. Bottom, bottom. I mean, Ugly Hood Rat. The Soul Sister life gain decks are all pretty bad right now, so I'm not worried about them getting a slightly better one. Let's not be so hyperbolic. Alright, that's a land, so I'm gonna scoop this one up here. They're gonna gain 4 life off of, get to at least 4 off of Lurrus. Okay, so let's rethink our approach here. Prosperous Innkeeper just seems bad. I like Chariot. Maybe I do like Yasharn. Maybe it's a little slow, but I have like one Prosperous Innkeeper. It is nice to like accumulate some mana. And maybe let's be a little bit, I don't know. Man, obviously we still want Rest in Peace. Yeah, we'll see. This is the first time I've ever played against Red-Black with this deck, and I don't have many expectations for what I think the matchup should be like. Okay. Pretty weak to Thoughtseize into Arcanist. But they don't always have that. And am I playing Tangled Florahedron out as a creature? I certainly am. Tangled Florahedron as a creature gives me access to Blade Splicer into Ephemerate. Ugly Head Rat, that deck has not, as far as I know, really won much of anything. Ouch. Yeah, Claim Village Rights is still pretty good. Gotta appreciate Claim Village Rights. But that's a lot of Blade Splicers. To be fair, Clarm the Bird Admirer, there have been games I've lost playing the Squirrel combo deck where having an indestructible creature on board would have been very good. Oh, opponent 1-for-1 to my Blade Splicer. That's not fair. That's not fair at all. Here you go. Alright, do I Ephemerate this now? Genuinely think I just do, right? I think we just make extra creatures and try to kill them fast before they can have removal up. And if they try to do something clever like kill Blade Splicer on upkeep, we can just resto it. Yeah, Pyromancer, sure. A Braid Splicer. Alright. Okay, we still got a 1-mana 3/3 out of the deal. We could have played Blade Splicer first. Not sure what the right move was there. Here's another one. Here's Scattered Groves. And Kroxa can now take our Restoration Angel, but I don't think it was worth holding the land just to play around specifically Kroxa. Okay, opponent is digging. Thoughtseize does deal them 2 damage. They need to take Restoration Angel or they're in terrible trouble. Dreadhorde Arcanist ain't it. Okay. Okay, Village Rights means we are going to just jam Restoration Angel, blink this Blade Splicer while we can. And this is just a lot of damage. I mean, Clarm, the Scurry Oak decks already play a bunch of Ajani's Pridemate effects, at least. I once ran into somebody who was in the top 10 playing Scurry Oak, and they were playing Trellisara, Moondancer, and Ajani's Pridemate, so I figure you just throw in the better version of Ajani's Pridemate to that deck, and it helps. Okay, we know opponent has some Feed the Swarms. Feed the Swarming Restoration Angel is not really where they want to be. They also can just, of course, cast a Village Rights out of their graveyard with this. It's whatever. We will be double blocking the... Oh. Okay. You double block here, of course, to play around the opponent killing one of your things. Is this now going to be Anger of the Gods? This is Anger of the Gods, and they got us. Eaten Live, alright. It's a lot of tokens. Have you also got the Kroxa? Yeah, once this deck gets going, it's real strong. Oh, Feed the Swarm is free damage, that's nice. And Luris to hand? Yeah, this is... Okay, Yorion Skynobed actually kind of clean. Are they going to continue? Alright, they're actually going to start blocking down the golems. Smart.
We need to become Aaron Gertler tonight, chat. That's the goal.
And I'm pretty sure I just play a 4/5 flyer. No, do I Skyclave? Actually, we Skyclave the Pyromancer, right? They can play Luris, they can get Dreadhorde Arcanist back. Or Stitcher Supplier, but they can't get... This is tough. I think I actually Skyclave here. I think getting rid of their token source is important. But it's really tough. I'm not sure that was right. Kroxa, okay. What's that about? Oh, just getting rid of the thing that can stop Luris. Okay, so they have a lifelinker and they can hit me for 3? Or they can just jam Karoxa, in which case we get to kill them with a bunch of top decks. I like the part where I can kill them with a bunch of different top decks. That's satisfying. Not that one. Okay, so am I putting them to a tiny life total here? I think so. I like putting them to 2. Then just put Yorion into my hand. Pass. Oh god, any spell they have is just pretty tough for me here. Oh, and this thing attacking with lifelink might be Curtains? Yeah, that's the thing. This deck just, like, it's cool when it works, but against anybody who's trying to, like, really disrupt you, it's just hard to find the right pieces at the right time. If you could play, like, 6 Skyclave Apparitions, this deck would be bonkers, but unfortunately that's not legal. Alright, we do have Yorion. Yorion is... so the game's not over. We keep Tangled Florahedron because I can't really afford to be taking an extra 3 off the Kroxa. But yeah, it's just the decks that do the whole Arclight Phoenix Luris thing and just like filter through their whole deck, we're just obviously playing on a different level in those decks compared to, you know, the Gear Hulk. The Gear Hulk Opus deck actually gets to do broken things, which is very good. Okay, they correctly attack with Luris, which means I'm in trouble. Dreadhorde Arcanist just gets to cast... oh, they can just cast Eaten Alive off of that, too? That's just super sad. Oh, they have Unholy Heat in their graveyard. Alright. Ouch! Don't I attack there? What do you mean, Genesis? Attack with the Golems? Why am I attacking with the Golems there? They just had 2 chump blockers, right? Yeah, maybe. Maybe I wasn't thinking about it. Didn't end up mattering in the end anyway. Alright, yeah, the green-white Yorion deck is just... honestly, the red-black sack decks seem kind of insane. I assume they probably get beaten by humans, but I don't even know if that's true. But whenever I play against somebody who's playing red-black sack, they're always in the 90s, so... I don't actually know that for sure. Like, this is how I've always felt about red-black sack in Historic. Ever since it got Faithless Looting, it's been like, this deck should be insane. I don't see why this isn't tier 0. But then I like beat it half the time, and somehow it always ends up looking less impressive in reality than it does on paper. Alright, we're going to play some Abzan Auras. This deck seems like it should be very good against Phoenix, and probably pretty decent against humans too. Although humans have a bunch of Brutal Cathars, maybe not. So, some new cards here. So this and Reprobation. I guess I can see this being the best pacifism we have. Neat. For Cartouche, for Sentinel's Eyes, single Demonic Vigor, for Kai's Ghost Form, 2 All the Glitters, 2 Rune of Might for quick kills, I like that. It's a little weird not seeing any, okay, the Runes of Sustenance are in the sideboard, and then a single Rampage of the Clans for, I assume, Enchantress. I like that. Yeah, it's possible we could have also won the red-black match. There were, like, cases where I could have played in different ways, but they seem fundamentally to be doing something a little stronger than we are. They didn't even have a busted start in any of those games, and it was still enough. Because we gave them time to get their engines online. Okay. Alright, they took a SRAM, interesting. Do I just chill? If they have anything that kills SRAM, it's probably Fatal Push. I think we just play it. We force them to Fatal Push now instead of holding stuff up. We can put Luris into hand next turn. Yeah, okay, so trying to go for like fancy ghost forming stuff wasn't likely to work anyway. So now I can Inquisition or put Luris in my hand. think this is just Luris to hand. Force him to have another Thoughtseize right now. Okay, Sorin Imperious Bloodlord into Champion of Dusk. Yep. Cool. I'm into it. Core Spirit Dancer. I'm into that too. Okay, let's start with... I guess we start with Spirit Dancer off of Temple Garden. Into Ghost Form, into Inquisition. Yeah, playing a bunch of Spirit Dancers in this deck does feel great. And the question is, do I Demonic Vigor as well? I don't think I need to with Kai's Ghost Form. I think we just Inquisition to make sure to take out their next play. Cool. Alright, so they're getting a big life-linking attacker in. That's fine. They need exactly a creature. I can just kill Sorin. They did have a creature. It's not a bad one either. Let's see. I think this might just be Luris into SRAM. I don't really know how to play these decks, chat, so you'll have to bear with me as I figure out what's going on. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking just Luris into SRAM and then force the opponent to, you know, do something really drastic next turn or we win the game. Okay, that's fine. We got rid of their blocker, which is a big game. And we're about to start drawing 2 copies of things off of all this. Yeah, I don't really care about them trading a whole card to kill Luris at this point. Luris did its job. The other... Spread around the Resilient Auras a bit. Yeah, this does seem challenging for them. Have to be slightly cautious about life totals, but I think going to 9 is fine. I want to equip this to SRAM, make sure we can kill the Sorin. Hateful Eidolon, that's another useful source of lifelink to think about, actually. You're telling me, Clarm. Okay. Yeah, I've played a lot. I've not played much Auras. I've actually played more Vampires in Historic than I have Auras, and I came to the same conclusion as my opponent about that one. Actually, it doesn't seem that heinous for them, but it seems favored for us. Set X, by the way, thanks for the follow. Alright, that was fun. That was very easy. And I don't mind, especially for day 1 of the Open, I do not mind just playing on easy mode a little bit. Let's keep the Abzan Auras going for a bit and change the stream title. Am I excited about any Crimson Vow cards so far? The Exploit Counter Zombie seems very powerful. Past that, nothing immediately comes to mind. Alright, Reniv or Jund? Jund, alright, so this is the matchup that Jund is actually supposedly good here. It used to be good. I don't know if it's still good now that we have so many more Spirit Dancers. I love having some Trample. Yeah, I haven't had really time to think much about the new cards yet. I generally don't try to do too much brewing before the whole set is out. Okay. So this... Yeah, Jund does have some Fatal Pushes, but we're going to make him have one now. And then we're going to have more interaction for Luris when the time comes. Okay, yep. Looks good to me. Let's start here. And now I think my Thoughtseizing here? I think I actually Thoughtseize here. I could also all that glitters. Feel like I want to make sure they don't have... What do I want to make sure they don't have? Binding the Old Gods. That seems useful to make sure they don't have. Yeah, play the Courtyard because otherwise it was going to come into play tapped. No attacks. Not Daniel. In older formats, you'll see decks like that occasionally that are very weird and unusual, but you are supposed to be on the draw with them, but not in modern Magic, really. Not in any format in Arena, certainly. Hi, Zekine. I don't know. Genki didn't talk me into this. The person who was playing this deck at an incredible ladder rank talked me into it implicitly. Sentinel's Eyes seems great. Hateful Eidolon seems pretty great too. Am I putting in all the glitters on the Hateful Eidolon here? I think I am. Love me some Lifelink. Oh. Do we just go tall? I probably should be just going tall on Sithis. It's tough. Hateful Eidolon gets to be a giant lifelinker with all the glitters, but kind of just bounces out. Well, they don't have any sack outlets. They have the squirrel, I guess. Alright, this is where skill actually comes into it, which means it's where I'm at a disadvantage. I don't know what to do. Let's just make an Enormous Trampler, I think. Enormous Trampler feels like a good place to be. Oh, we actually missed I missed a point of damage because I forgot what all the glitters does and didn't play Hateful Eidolon before combat. Oops. Oops-a-daisy. My bad. Yeah, I guess y'all are right. Some sealed formats that may have been the case. Alright, did opponent rip the oven? If they ripped the oven, that could keep him in this. Or a Fatal Push for Sithis might set us back far enough. Would not appear so. Alright. Let's go for Spirit Dancer into Rune on the Sithis here, I think. They can kill Spirit Dancer. But this is still a pretty good place to be. It says trample. Yep. That was actually supposed to be Blooming Marsh. Just playing like garbage today. My sequencing is all off. Alright, so they need to find a Fatal Push. If they find a Fatal Push, I draw 6 million cards, but maybe they can climb back into the game. Now they have to decide whether it's worth using up a food to kill the Spirit Dancer. Yeah, they should be at 2 right now. And I should have access to more mana next turn. Yeah, Geneticist Ravenous Squirrel is a heck of a card. Like, to me, it just dies to Skyclave Apparition like everything else in their deck, but it is clearly much better than Woe Strider or Priest of Forgotten Gods. Okay, this deck. What are we supposed to have against Jund? Probably Mire's Grasp for Mayhem Devil is a good choice. Life's Bounty seems pretty poopy. It just gets picked off really easily. It does protect me from failures. Reprobation seems kind of awkward. I mean, I don't like that this just leaves them with sack fodder. It does stop Corvold. But realistically, it doesn't seem that helpful. I don't know. Punishment Hushbringer stops Cat and Goose, but dies pretty easily and doesn't stop Squirrel. Rune of Sustenance seems like the kind of card that probably only wins us the game if we were winning already. Yeah, we're definitely going to cut some discard spells. I'm not sure how many. Yeah, I guess I should be... Yeah, I kind of like the idea of taking other Fatal Pushes specifically. But we could also just try and go over the top of them. Maybe Hushbringer actually should come in. Well, no. Well, it stops Corvold's come into playability too. But then it's not really the part of Corvold that concerns me. I think I'll trim down to 2 Thoughtseize. It's kind of weird that we don't have more answers to something like Witch's Oven. I guess there's not much in the way of auras that take it. I like Baffling End, actually. Don't think I like Deadweight enough because it doesn't hit Mayhem Devil, and it doesn't really stop Ravenous Squirrel once it gets going. Currently 56 cards. I don't really know what to do. I am pretty confused in this matchup. Maybe we do want Reprobation? I'm just wrong. Yeah, I mean, Heliod's Punishment just seems straight up worse than Reprobation, though. So if I'm going to do that, might as well do this, and I guess I'll just bring in some more auras. Keep 2 Thoughtseize, try this. Hey, Inialas! Thanks. Nice to see you, too. Yeah, the Lifelink rune is not amazing because the cat can just jump it. So it's possible I'm not even supposed to be doing that. Gotta love these Orzans. We do deserve some of them sometimes. And, alright, we trimming... I think just all that glitters here. The reason for getting rid of all the glitters there would be that it's a card that is at its best when we have like a bunch of resources and are already pretty ahead, and given that we mulliganed on the draw, it seems unlikely for that to happen. Okay, Sithis is really cool. Sithis gives me a great answer to the question of do I run something out this turn? Opkus, for a while, Heliod's Punishment was genuinely just the best pacifism in the format. Soup Dog, Hushbringer only really stops cat triggers, and occasionally other stuff. It didn't seem really close to being powerful enough. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of Mayhem Devil, please. Thank you. And I think I saved the Ghost form for after I play Spirit Dancer next turn. Like, I have a second Sithis, so I did it again. I did it again. My land sequencing. Blah. That should have been Concealed Courtyard, just because I want to be able to play an untapped land next turn, for sure. Alright, opponent trying to do the slow grindy Jun thing. I think our grind is going to be faster and, yeah, better. Yep, super punished here. Well, let's go Spirit Dancer into Ghost form on the Spirit Dancer. Spirit Dancer is the one that gets bigger, so Spirit Dancer is the one we're going to want to be equipping up. Yeah, we'll draw a card, thanks. Mire's Grasp is cool. Let's just play Courtyard and swing. Loving this incidental life gain off of Sithis as well. Alright, opponent taking Mire's Grasp is genuinely a little bit sad. We can, of course, just cycle the Sithises if we have to. Opponent sensibly goes after Spirit Dancer, so they've... You know, they're holding us off if we can't find an aura. If we find an aura, they're just super dead. Which makes me actually glad I put Rune in. Cartouche. Alright. Well, that's going to be Curtains, I think. This is just too many cards, and we are nowhere near being dead. Opponent is mad at us for playing an Aura's deck and then drawing an Aura. I never really understood that vibe, but it's a thing. People feel that way sometimes. Cycle Sithis. Keep Sithis. Smork. Yep, this is... I love the green-white value train because it feels nicer than this. This just feels dirty, but sometimes you just gotta get them. Oven and oh no, it's 3 ovens with no cats. Oh gosh, the Jund story, folks. The Jund story. Alright, well, once they find a cat, I guess we'll need to find another way to kill a squirrel. But we have a few of those. Yep, Trample Aura is pretty poggers. Thoughtseize, you're right, Kevlar Man. Thoughtseize does seem pretty bad against Jund. What am I doing with Thoughtseize in my deck? Okay, yeah, that... We sure do have a lot of must-kill creatures. Let's try that again. That worked well. Yeah, I will be interested to see how good this deck actually is against Phoenix. It seems pretty good in theory. Seems hard for them to keep up, but I don't know. Phoenix is very scary. Phoenix does a lot of... Yikes. Alright, keep this. Okay, so we just slam Thoughtseize plus to this plus Protective Enchantment, I think. Get rid of SRAM. Could have gotten rid of a land there. That might have been a better idea. I don't know for sure. Let's see how much removal our black-red opponent is packing at the moment. Oh, they're Shamans splashing Judith. I see. Okay. Shaman seems like an incredible matchup because they don't have much in the way of removal. And we go really big. But we'll see. We're starting off on a, pretty low life total. Hopefully they didn't just draw Stomp. If they just drew Stomp, I'm going to be sad. Cool. Alright. Generally, Stomp is the only removal spell they actually play. All that glitters looks awesome. So the question is, am I just going to suit up this Alseid? I think I am here to suit up the Alseid, actually. Alright, now what? Do I have Spirit Dancer? If they play Rage Forger, I am taking 3, 4. Yeah, Rage Forger in particular is really dangerous, but I don't think there's much I can do about it. I can actually play, I'll play all the glitters in Alseid, actually. That should keep me pretty safe, because now we have a big lifelinker. They can't kill me with a Rage Forger. If they have, like, Coco into double Rage Forger, we're dead. Past that, hopefully Alseid just puts us out of range next turn. Although, they can stack up a lot of damage. This is not over. This is a matchup where Hushbringer is very, very good. I think I want more Hushbringers in my sideboard. It feels like the Heliod's punishments are kind of excessive, and there are a lot of matchups where I'm just pretty happy playing a bunch of Hushbringer. BTE, okay, that's not a Rage Forger. That could be a Rage Forger. Yay! Alright, it was not anything to be scared of. Great. It's a lot of power on the battlefield, to be fair. Like, they can block down Alseid, I guess? No, they can't. They cannot. Alright. Yep, alright. I didn't like that attack very much. Okay, I don't even think we're playing Spirit Dancer here. I think we're just trying to, like, make this Alseid as big as possible. The Spirit Dancers really want to come out to play. But can't let them do that. Okay, there are definitely still things they could kill us with, but this makes it tougher. They could quadruple block Alseid. In fact, quadruple blocking Alseid might have been the move. I don't know. Okay, one of Alcia doing some great work. Loving the lifelink. That's another thing I'd be interested in maybe having more access to. Alright, Rage Forger's scary. We're still not dead. But they're just going to try their best, which makes sense. So we take 6 off of this. I guess one thing I should make sure to do is block a 3 toughness creature, because the easiest way for me to accidentally die would be if my opponent can stomp something. Alright, so this means I go to 22. I take 4, 4, 3, 3, 4, which is 18. Do I block with Sithis? No, okay, I take 1 off of the Judith ping as well, so I'm actually taking 4, 14, 18, 19. Yeah, I think triple blocking and keeping Judith was the play for them there. They shouldn't be able to deal 3 damage to me here. Famous last words. Oh, wait, I miscounted. Oh, I forgot the elemental token attacking me. Oops. Now we could die to Bone Crusher. Although with Judith in their deck, I doubt they're playing Bone Crusher. Alright, well that's a punt. I just completely missed there was a 2-1 elemental token attacking me. What's my punt count at? 3.76 per hour. That is quite a number. Whew. Okay, no stomp though. Good. Alright, Hushbringer, get in here. Inquisition, I think, comes out. They've got a lot of cards I am pretty happy to kill with my various kill spells. So we bring in Deadweight, we bring in Mire's Grasp, we bring in Baffling End. Pretty sure we even want Reprobation, because stopping Harmonic Prodigy is just absolutely essential. What am I cutting against their deck? So Thoughtseize is useful against the companies, not that useful in general. Does anything seem kind of loose? I don't want to go too low on auras, of course. That's an easy trap to fall into. I could go a little bit lower on SRAMs, I think. Our opponent's deck just doesn't have that much removal. Maybe we just got the Thoughtseize and just try it like this. I imagine that any creature deck where the small removal spells are good, I'm guessing you probably just want... I don't know about cutting Glitters, Partister. Glitters on Hushbringer is an especially good thing to have access to. I can see maybe cutting 1 Glitters for a rune if we want more access to lifelink, but our creatures, aside from Core Spirit Dancer, don't get that big. So rune's not... Let me try this. Maybe we want both runes. Yeah, actually, maybe we want rune over the trample rune. Okay, this hand is 2 removal spells and desperately needs a... I just think we mulligan hands like this. Keep this one. Bottom a Sunpetal Grove, I think, on the draw. Yeah, you might be right. We probably don't need as many Ghost Forms as we have here. Yeah, I definitely don't actually know how to sideboard this deck. If anybody happens to know where there's like a good guide to auras available, I would even take a guide to like a previous version of the auras deck, because I just don't know what I'm doing at all, and even some basic pointers would be cool. I would love to see that. Alright, don't kill Sithis. If they do kill Sithis, I'll just put Luris into hand. It's whatever. But they shouldn't have too much removal in their deck, even post-board. They just can't fit it. Okay, they can fit some of it. How about a giant first striking Luris? How does a giant first striking Luris sound to you, opponent? Yeah, there probably are some good guides. Thanks, Partister. Thanks, Kevlar Man. If anybody can put up a link though, for your lazy friend Little Beep, links are always appreciated. Rampaging Ferocidon. All right, that's discouraging, except for that I have Reprobation, so it actually doesn't matter. Cool. All right, we are going to take a little bit of chunk damage this turn, but I think we'll be fine. Once we reprobate this Ferocidon and start beating down with lifelink, it's going to be great. Gosh, companions are good. Alright, don't have another Abrade, I guess. Okay, Collected Company can't hit Abrade. This is all fine. I guess a Braid is 1 mana, huh? Okay. Thanks, Partister. Perfect. Alright, that's what I like to see, chat. See Partister's initiative? Learn from Partister. Alright, so we're going to start with... So we could sit this into Reprobation on Ferocodon to draw an extra card. I could also Reprobate the Ferocodon and just jam some cartouches to get more blockers down and pump up the Lurrus a bit. Okay, here's what I think I like for this turn. I think I like Reprobation. No abilities for you. And then we go Hateful Eidolon. Cartouche on Lurrus. Eidolon just gives me another blocker and a little bit of life gain. So a Rage Forger could be pretty bad. Harmonic Prodigy and Rage Forger definitely kills us. Right? Yeah, that definitely kills us. We die literally before the, Right? This has to be lethal. It's 2 triggers per creature. So we go to 2. We block something with Lurrus, go to 7. Actually, are we dead? I don't know if we're dead. I actually think we might not be dead, which would be exciting. Happy Goblin. I was trying to get Lurrus out of a Braid range, because we already had seen a Braid from them. So you go block, block. Actually, we're totally fine, huh? I can even keep Eidolon alive and just go to... This is an 0-1? Yeah, I can keep Eidolon alive, do these blocks, go to 7, 8, go to 1. That feels pretty good. Right? Counting this correctly? Go to 2, actually? No, go to 1. Alright. Okay, did count correctly there. Good. So they are going to attack for another 8, though. I can Reprobate the Rage Forger, actually, which stops that from happening. So I guess we gotta go Sithis, Reprobation on the Rage Forger, play this out. They can attack me with 5 creatures, but Lurrus should still keep me alive. Of course, they have top decks that kill me. They have plenty of top decks that kill me, and Harmonic Prodigy makes many of their cards really good top decks, but if they hit like a land or another Prodigy, or a Narcomancer, or a Burning Tree Emissary, any of that stuff's fine. Was it the wrong land again? I guess it was, wasn't it? Alright, gotta learn. This deck plays 2 kinds of lands. There are only, I guess, 3 kinds of lands. There are only so many ways I can sequence them. Does Lurrus have Vigilance? Lurrus does not have Vigilance. Lurrus has First Strike. Those are 2 cartouches. If they have a Braid should probably kill us. Stump. Yeah, that ought to do it, right? Does it? Yeah, we're definitely super dead. Our opponent is, hesitating here. We go... Yeah, there's nothing that's, like, pumping their stuff that I can survive by blocking, right? Yeah, we're just dead. Go to 7, but take 9. Okay, so what did we learn from that? Yeah, I honestly kind of like all the glitters just because we have Lurrus by default in some number of games. What is a cartouche? I feel like they might have made it up. Alright, and Ghost Form being excessive I could see. Demonic Vigor is of course just worse than Ghost Form. Actually, it gives +1/+1. Ghost Form is, and they never exile things, so we can do that. Have the rune in. This feels alright. Ouch! Let's even if we're doing it very gently in jest, try not to badmouth other streamers on the stream, please. think that's just a good policy to follow. Thank y'all very much. Okay, so if they have a Braid or Stomp, we could be in trouble. If I draw a third land, there's a chance I just hold off on Spirit Dancer here for a bit. Hushbringer's interesting. Okay, I'm doing Hushbringer. I think it's great bait, and if they don't kill it, then I just put some Sentinel's Eyes on it. I'm not sure they can beat it. Aw, alright, well that's very sweet, Kevlar Man. I take it back, you're fine. Alright. Sorry, Hushbringer. Hey! Okay, that's pretty good. Spirit Dancer into Cartouche of Solidarity, I suppose. Get the extra creature down and maybe start attacking a little earlier. So all we really need is a lifelink rune. Of course, Spirit Dancer should be out of range of everything. Fingers crossed. Alright, and we'll of course be reprobating that Prodigy as soon as we possibly can. Namely, let's just get them dead. Here, please. Am I deadweighting the Anarchomancer? I think I'm deadweighting the Anarchomancer. It makes their deck considerably faster. Although I guess I could have deadweighted the Anarchomancer first to see what land I drew. Anyway, we drew the perfect land, so it didn't really matter. Yeah, this deck is pretty good. Seems pretty good. Is it Urinary Effects? Well, we can turn it up a little bit if it's distractingly quiet. Okay, this is going to have to be a really good collected company. I do appreciate that Reprobate even takes the creature type away, so they're not getting counters from a Rage Forger. Okay, that was a good collected company start. Got another one? Alright, yep, this is the Shaman's deck is very explosive and powerful. The thing I didn't like about the Shaman's deck was that it felt pretty soft to decks with a bunch of sweepers. Like, I struggled against Niv and Jeskai when I was testing it. It's not like a... You know, it's not like a lethal weakness by any means. It's still a perfectly solid deck to play, but... I noticed I wasn't fully comfortable with that particular setup. Alright, am I putting this on SRAM, or am I just making Spirit? I think I just make Spirit Dancer as big as possible here. Just so drawing a lifelink rune becomes game over. Okay, now we can see this. Start with this attack. Yeah, there's definitely some consideration for Alseid over Sithis, but no, I don't think there is actually. I think just drawing 3 cards off of Alseid next turn is going to be very helpful for finding a lifelink rune. Literally can't hear the music. We can bring it up a little more. Can other people not hear the music? It's like, it's almost at halfway. Another Anarchomancer, alright. This could be scary. There are a lot of bad things could happen here, but we can beat a Rage Forger. Harmonic Prodigy is not a Shaman, which is very helpful. We can definitely beat an Abrade. There is no music. Okay, maybe it's just not actually in the mixer? Why would it not be in the mixer? Why are you not in the mixer music? Did that work? Okay, we drew another Sithis, so we'll start there and gain a little bit of incidental life, draw incidental cards. Come on, lifelink rune. Come on, lifelink rune. Right, this doesn't actually draw cards off the other stuff. Awkward. Okay, so we're almost at the point where Spirit Dancer just kills them. Almost. Not quite. So we'll just send with it here. Put Lurrus into hand. And Lurrus gets back Hushbringer and Reprobation, both of which are pretty safe to have out. Alright, we'll pump up the jam even harder. The jam has been pumped up. Okay. Could die to some stuff. Could definitely die to some stuff. They've got the combo assembled over there. Judith the Scourge Diva does not scare me. They don't have quite enough creatures out to just start throwing them at us in a reckless fashion. And now that everybody can hear the chill music together, I don't think they really stand a chance. The power of song, chat. Alright, Boney G. And they're just straight dead to Alciad now, I think. Yeah, I think they're just straight dead to Alciad, because we have enough auras. Oh, this is auras attached to it. Never mind, they're not actually straight dead. I'm completely wrong. Okay, we're going to Reprobation the Harmonic Prodigy over the Judith here. Draw 3 cards, gain some life. That seems very good. I think this is better than playing Hushbringer out. Maybe it's not actually. Yeah, it might have been worse than playing out Hushbringer. Okay, well we drew in all the glitters. That's gonna be a lot of life gained off of this Alciad. So that should do it. That's too much life gain, I think. I guess they could still have an Abrade in their hand they just haven't cast, in which case I'd feel very silly, but I was not really getting the Abrade vibe from them. Oh wait, Spirit Dancer has Vigilance, chat. That was a punt. Obviously should be attacked with Spirit Dancer here. Because there's Vigilance and First Strike and just can't be killed. We're going to win anyway at this point, but it's a little punt-to-punt. Hey, Blind Dragon! Thanks for the follow. Don't forget, if you enjoy seeing a bunch of different Historic decks played, that is the thing I am doing right now, and will probably be doing until the second Historic qualifier is over. So step right up and follow the stream. Oh, thanks, Partister. Excellent, excellent. Ooh, is this Genki's guide? No, it's Doggert's guide. It's still a good guide. I trust Doggert. Ah, Pathios, our opponent's deck is very playable. Yeah, this looks like it's probably Shatter Skull Smashing, and they just, you know, figured they would do it for as much as possible and didn't really count. Oh, right, they had an Archimancer. Never mind, they had an Archimancer, so that was a perfectly reasonable play. They could have killed Spirit Dancer, but it would have taken everything they had. Okay, well we've got the whole squad together, so what is going to kill them? We get a Trample Rune or a Lifelink Rune, and that should do it. We can also load up multiple creatures to be sufficiently lethal. Let's just start spreading the wealth. Hushbringer, also helpful. I mean, Shamans just has a bunch of card advantage and a bunch of, like, weird out of nowhere win the game combos. It's very fast. The cards all synergize well together. It's not that surprising. I mean, I personally enjoy casting Elvish Visionary for 1 mana very much. Alright, let's see if we can make 3 unstoppable creatures here. Cards in library, 24. Okay. Always good to check. Okay, seems pretty good. We got Demonic Vigor still? Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. No, the Trample Runes are a little bit too far down the deck. Sag. Very good, Ms. Tastic. I never decked playing Teamer Clover, but I'm aware that sometimes I do play decks that are actually capable of decking. And I try to avoid doing that. Gosh, this deck just feels really cleanly built. I do think they might technically still have draws that could win the game for them here, which is funny. Not sure about that, but I think they might. Wait. Yep. Okay. Like if they hit like technically Collected Company into Harmonic Prodigy into another Collected Company into the right set of things. I mean, yeah, I guess you can say that with many decks, and those are typically the good decks. The decks that are not good are the ones that are nuts when you have your 5-drop or whatever, unless the 5-drop is Yorion, in which case it's still open for interpretation. The decks that can be nuts are the decks like the one we're playing that go off when you have your 2-drop. Now they only play 4 of it, but their deck can work fine without Harmonic Prodigy. They're still a Collected Company deck. And a curve of like Burning Tree Emissary into Elvish Visionary into Rage Forger is still attacking for 7 on turn 3 after drawing a card. It's not bad. Okay, well, let's find an aura, and we're gonna be hunky dory. Bourbon, yep, that was me. I don't even know how to set my Twitch name, so I just got stuck with my actual name when I installed that game. True story. Alright, we're going to start with SRAM, which is the worst payoff. It would be pretty embarrassing to die because we just never drew an aura, but I like to think of our opponent seeing this and panicking a little bit. We're saving Sithis because Sithis can draw cards off of our enchantment creatures as well, giving us a few more options. Okay, position of Kozilek. That's nice. Let's see what's up. What's up? Is this Tainted Pact? No, it's the deck Seth Manfield has been playing, Grixis Opus. That seems... Grixis Opus seems pretty good. We really don't have... I don't know if we have Graveyard Hate in our sideboard. I legit don't know if we have Graveyard Hate in our sideboard. So, this could be kind of ugly. Like, we can definitely... We're definitely capable of going over the top of what they do, but... we got about 2 turns to find an aura. There we go, alright, cool. So, Garden Sithis, and they can Jwari Disruption our Rune of Might if they want to, but that's fine. They could also Jwari Disruption Sithis if they really want to. Didn't expect them to try. Okay, cool. So not discarding Magma Opus this turn means we can't get Mythic's Mastery next turn. This still does leave us open to getting completely smashed by Anger of the Gods off the top. Or Sweltering Suns, but they usually have to be 2 copies of that main deck, I think. What's up, hot dog? I don't know. There are many great Storybook Brawl streamers who I'm sure offer very solid tips. Thoughtseize, okay. Yeah, Thoughtseize is not terrible. I will take away... 1 copy of Torrential Gearhulk, please. Thank you. And the fact they countered Runamite means that we get to cast it off of Luris next turn, if need be, which is cool. And they are going for the option to draw Mythic's Mastery here. Or I guess another Torrential Gearhulk would also be pretty good. But it looks like they didn't find either of those things, which is going to be a problem for them. Let's go with... Let's see. Interesting. So what's the thing I'm worried about? Let's actually try to think through this. Yeah, Luris plus Ghost Form's obviously obscene, but, you know, trying to think of what they could have in hand here. I think we go Luris into Rune. Rune on... Well, hold on. Play this, shock it in. Rune on Spirit Dancer. Yeah, I was trying to think about, like, what if they have, like, a Gear Hulk next turn? Is there something that sets me up better against them? But given that they appear to have no relevant interaction, I think we should be basically good whatever happens. Yeah, let's just Ghost Form Luris to be safe. It's a bit less damage this turn, but they should be... It shouldn't matter too much, and I think having the engine around is nice. Yep, and now I think we've officially gone over the top of what this deck can do. Their draw was not very good. Okay, so Gear Hulk into Opus is a real possibility. One that I will try to be prepared for, but let's just start with Cartouche, the Spirit Dancer. Okay, Spirit Dancer is big enough to attack safely into anything. Let's go ahead and... Let's see, they've got Hall of Storm Giants up. Let's just attack with Spirit Dancer here. Okay, cool. Good stuff. We'll go ahead and play Saram out of the graveyard. There's a part of me that actually probably we're just supposed to play Reprobation on this 1/1. Just draw 3 cards. Have outs to find like a Thoughtseize or something, which could be helpful. Don't think it really matters if we put Cartouche on. I guess technically it's supposed to be the token, which is their least juicy target for removal, but I don't think it should really matter. Alseid's nice. Currently at 31 cards in the library. So the most powerful thing their deck is capable of doing is Mizzix's Mastery, which only gets back a couple things here. I guess they could wipe out my whole board with a push in the Spirit Dancer. They didn't have it. Okay, good. Yeah, don't know. It's possible that given that... yeah. Don't know. Okay, so this deck. We have 0 interaction for graveyards, which does strike me as a little sketchy, not gonna lie. Gonna cut some Inquisitions, add some Duresses. Definitely don't really want Reprobations in this matchup. Hushbringer shuts off Gear Hulk, but generally isn't very useful. I guess if we're not playing Reprobation, what do we want? Inquisition, I guess, can take away Anger of the Gods and stuff like Expressive Iteration. Yeah, maybe we just want Inquisitions. Just stop their early game stuff and try to get big before they can Mastery. Sure, I'm into it. Okay, that's all our discard spells. Let's dance. Start with Priam. I don't think there's any 2-drop they have that I would really want to Thoughtseize. Start with Thoughtseize over Inquisition, just so we don't accidentally waste our Inquisition. I'm going to go ahead and take this Unexpected Windfall. Then we'll just Inquisition looking for Bone Crusher. Let's see if they stomp me in response to save it. If they stomp me in response to save it, I take their Fatal Push and they have no removal spell, so I'm not surprised they just did this. I guess I just take Push here, actually. Yeah, I'll take push. Was thinking it was a close call. I think the fact that Bone Crusher is harder to leave up and also doesn't kill big Spirit Dancers makes it the right call to leave. Yeah, Genesis, that seems right. I'm not surprised there aren't like auras that obviously do the thing I'm looking to do. Okay, so now I guess I just thought Thoughtseize. If they stop me, that's fine. It means they have a handful of nothing. Cool, alright, we'll take Bone Crusher and jam Spirit Dancer and see if we can kill them before they find something useful to do with this Magma Opus. Or, you know, they could just draw removal for Spirit Dancer off the top. That's very possible. Their deck does play a lot of Doomblades, including Doomblade. Okay, I think this is just going to be Alseid into Luris to hand. Yeah, it's just like... I feel like I might want a couple of Rest in Peace. Like, Rest in Peace at least draws cards with this. They just straight up discard the Opus. Interesting. Okay, do I duress here? I think I do duress here just because there's like... Yeah, Luris doesn't bring back anything this turn anyway. And yep, we're just going to have to hope they don't hit something powerful here. Now, their deck is almost 100% removal spells and Gearhulks, but they do have lands in as well. So we'll take advantage of the fact that they are foolish enough to play lands. We're going to All That Glitters on the Luris, I think. Just get a little bit more extra damage in. Found a land to hold up Alseid. That seems great. I think I just go ahead and hold up Alseid here over jamming another aura. Make sure that we've got Luris kind of safely protected for all time. Cardboard Live is still here, huh? I'm really trying hard to get rid of Cardboard Live, and it's not been responding to being gotten rid of. Okay, well, we just took this deck and we beat the absolute crap out of the deck I was going to play, which is interesting. I think I'm pretty into this one. Let's do one more match with auras, and let's of course get a little bit of gambling in this stream. We're gonna play auras one more time. Do we think we're gonna win? Place your bets, chat. Place your bets. Yeah, auras seems very powerful. I think I'm just gonna lock into this. This happens so often. I like test all the complicated fancy decks in the format. I build a bunch of decks, and then I eventually decide after, you know, lots of testing and dissatisfaction that I'm just gonna play a broken thing I don't have any experience with, and try to study it over the course of a couple matches. Still, auras is one of those archetypes that is definitely going to have some longevity in this format. I think I'm pretty happy getting better at it. Mono green? Yeah, you can even Rest in Peace out of your graveyard with Luris. This is true. Werewolf Pack Leader, alright. Well, obviously their deck plays removal, but I don't think we really have an option. I think we're just going to jam our Spirit Dancer, hope they don't kill it. If they do take the turn to kill it, we can get Luris and proceed from there. Interesting. Okay. They might just have nothing. Let's test that theory. If they waited to push this until we played an aura on it, that just seems wrong. It doesn't seem like what you're supposed to do. Okay. Can't think of any, like, flash cards they could have. So let's beat them down. Cool, alright. We're out of Blizzard Brawl and Primal Might range. We're not out of Questing Beast range. That much is true. Okay, so I think we Sentinel's Eyes first. Just cycle this. It's a little awkward not being able to put Luris into hand, but there's a chance we draw Cartouche or All That Glitters or something like that. And our opponent's not going to beat this stuff. Another Sentinel's Eyes. Yeah, this draw was just insane. This has been really, really good. We are now just forcing chump blockers. And even have the backup Thoughtseize. Yep, so this looks a lot like the black-green deck that did very well in the Japanese Red Bull Historic Tournament. Which means their only main deck removal is 2 Blood Chiefs Thirst, but they do bring in a bunch more out of the sideboard. We're definitely going to want our removal spells against them. We are less interested in Inquisition of Kozilek. Might be interested in some Thoughtseize because they are a Coco deck. We are not interested in Hushbringer. Honestly, what if we just bring in all the removal auras and just cut the Thoughtseizes? Maybe that's better. That's probably better. Puts us at 61 cards, which is like a pretty nice number. And then we can cut a SRAM against the relatively removal light deck, maybe? Yeah, I'm not even unhappy just keeping a handful of removal against them, so I think I'm okay cutting a SRAM. There may be a reason you haven't seen Questing Beast and Wild Pathlos. That one has gotten a bit behind the times. Tacos. If they're the Japanese deck, which it looked like they were playing a bunch of cards from it, then they are a Coco deck, but they might be doing something different. It's possible. Alright, so we'll try and hold off until turn 3 to play Spirit Dancer, so we can Spirit Dancer plus Ghost Form. Werewolf Pack Leader is just going to beat a Baffling End. Of course, the reason we're playing Baffling End is because A, it's less flexible than Reprobation, B, Reprobation draws a card off of Spirit Dancer, and Baffling End does not. Ouch! Alright, Thoughtseize is fine though. We've got Luris for this kind of thing. Do they, Geneticist? Do they? That's a funny notion to me as well. Alright, Werewolf Pack Leader, I am okay with that one hanging out for a bit. I'm just going to be mana efficient this turn and put Luris into hand. Okay, second Thoughtseize puts us in a tricky spot for sure. Opponent's done a good job disabling all of the cards that do things in my deck. We could still rip a reasonable creature and get him, but we are... Yeah, actually I should be playing 3 SRAMs. I don't know what I'm doing. Oof. Okay, Vivian is pretty painful, especially against Reprobation. Yikes. Don't think we're getting this one. Definitely not getting this one. Okay, let's put the SRAM back in. Try not to be a... let's see... What sucks? Runa Might probably isn't very good, right? 2 mana Aura. We don't really need to trample past them at all. Put the SRAM back in, and maybe I jam a single Thoughtseize. Just make it a little bit more likely to have some kind of interaction with their removal. Yeah, let's try this. Okay, so again, just one creature, which means we're pretty vulnerable to Thoughtseize, but we've got a removal spell as well. We've got Luris. You definitely can't mull hands like this, obviously, so we shall not. Oh, Questing Beast is a great card still, all-timer, but... Alright, yep, and there's nothing to do this turn, so we'll just play this, force our opponent to have one of their, small number of removal spells and an untapped black land. And that should be it, probably. Let's go ahead and Myers Grasp the Pack Leader. Ghost Form the Harvest Hand. Toodaloo opponent. Yep. Ooh, Caleb Durward had the Birthing Pod test stream. That sounds like so much fun. Okay, let's resolve this prediction. Well done, chat. We did, in fact, win the match, and I am definitely playing this deck tomorrow. This deck is... I'm not going to play it at anywhere near 100% capacity. Gonna make some punts, but... Griffin, Rampage the Clans is in against the Enchantress deck, just to get rid of all their stuff. You against the Enchantress deck is basically the same deck play. You're both doing the same thing, except you're probably drawing more cards and having more enchantments on board, which means that Rampage the Clans gives them, 10 3/3s and you 15 3/3s. Okay, so that's going to close it. I'm doing a short stream tonight because the tournament starts at 6 a.m. my time tomorrow, which means I will need to get to bed at a reasonable hour. Thanks everybody for hanging out. I will be streaming the tournament. Almost certainly just going to be streaming it live because I usually don't care about delay that much on day one at least. Would rather just have people have a better viewing experience. So pop in tomorrow morning if you're around. And don't forget to follow the stream if you enjoyed this and want to see more things like it. I will be streaming, hopefully, on a semi-regular to even regular basis in the future. I actually just got a new job, chat, and so I will be working somewhat more regular hours as a result of that, not dealing with so many different time zones, which should make picking a regular stream schedule a little easier. Alright, thanks, Ibane. You're very welcome, Pathos, and good night, everyone. Catch you soon.